In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys 10 plus small items that typically can fit in your hand and are under 12 ounces that sell extremely well on eBay. I have been selling full-time on eBay for over 4 years, so I know which items sell incredibly well. Let me show them to you. The first item are sunglasses and eyeglass frames. Right now, I currently have 2,400 items in my eBay store, and it appears that I have over 1,000 eyeglass frames and sunglasses listed. These are the slower moving part of my store, but I'm able to get them for so cheap that they sell every day consistently. On eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari, I sell on average 15 pairs per day, every single day. The most common brands that are definitely worth picking up that you'll find occasionally are Ray-Ban. You want to look for Coach. Definitely be on the lookout for Oakley. And then on rare occasion, you will find things like Christian Dior and Chanel and Tiffany & Co. These sell extremely fast for extreme profits, but you are more than likely just going to be focusing on Ray-Ban, an occasional Oakley, some Coach, some Kate Spade, Ralph Lauren. Next up are remote controls. I currently sell between 2 and 4 of them per day because my stock is actually a bit lower than it normally is. But I sell a ton of remotes. I'm able to find them at thrift stores, garage sales, and flea markets all across the country all day long. The most I really typically pay for a remote is $3, and a lot of them sell for $15, $25, and even $50 plus shipping. I just sold a Rotel, R-O-T-E-L remote this morning for $50 plus shipping that I got for $1. Next on the list, we have pocket knives. You're able to get these at yard sales very consistently. A lot of people have full tables of them. You want to look for the vintage stuff, obviously, but anything that says Buck on it is usually a pickup. You want to look for Old Timer by Schrade. There's a ton of different pocket knives. They sell extremely well and they're easy to ship, just like all of the other items in this video. Next up, we have trading cards. Sealed and opened individual cards sell extremely well. I have sold tens of thousands of dollars in basketball and football card singles, usually anywhere from $15 to $40 at a time. Sealed packs sell extremely well, especially during live shows on Whatnot and my own platform, firstclasstreasures.com. Sealed packs move extremely fast for great profits. One of my absolute favorites, it is currently my #1 selling category on eBay, are digital cameras. Even cameras that have issues with them. For example, this one works but has a small crack on the screen. Will still sell. Oh, that's a Coolpix 10. This is a Coolpix S80 800C with GPS and Wi-Fi. Even with that cracked screen, that'll probably sell for over $100. Here we have a works but a small dent on the screen. Works. All of these cameras, some of them work, some of them have small issues, but I'm able to get them at thrift stores and yard sales for $10 and under. And my average sales price on digital cameras is $85 plus shipping. Insane profit margins. The top 3 you want to look for are Canon, Sony, and Nikon in that order. Next up, tier 2, you have things like Olympus, Fujifilm, and then tier 3 that you can kind of focus on but isn't worth as much is Kodak, Vivitar, Minolta, and things like that. Media in general is another great one. You have CDs, cassettes, small little books, and video games. You have to be extremely careful when it comes to media though, because it is so cheap and so plentiful that a lot of times you'll get stuck in the game of listing hundreds of CDs that have terrible sell-through rate just because you were able to get them for 5 cents or 10 cents. I recommend focusing on high, fast sell-through rate, in-demand CDs. You definitely don't want to just clog up your store with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, even thousands of CDs that only sell for $7 shipped and can take up to 5 or 6 years just to sell. Same thing with cassettes. There are a lot of cassettes on eBay right now that will not move in the next decade, which is crazy to me. And then there are also a ton of cassettes that list and get sold the same day because they are so highly sought after and rare. So Just like all of these items, Foster Grant eyeglasses are not going to sell individually on eBay, but you may be able to sell 20 of them in a lot at a cheap price. Same with CDs. I have some of these. These are all wrap CDs, and they're not great individual sellers, but I have them listed in lots, and they move much quicker. But with all of these items, you want to look up their individual sell-through rate to make sure that it's a good buy and that it will sell quickly. If not, you're just going to have tens of thousands of items rotting in your store. My newest and favorite category to sell in recently have been watches. Watches are awesome. They sell extremely well. It is actually a category that eBay itself markets and pushes on TV commercials and online ads. You can make so much money in watches alone. I love selling watches. A lot of times you can get them in big jars for 50 to 100 bucks at thrift stores that have over 100 watches in them. So you're getting them for 80 cents or $1 a piece. You can constantly find them at yard sales. And sometimes if you are willing to put up the capital, you can get really nice Omega and Rolex watches for $400 or $500 that can sell for $7,000 or $8,000 online. Another great category that you can focus on that I am not particularly the best at selling are small toys. This can range from action figures to Hot Wheels cars. There's just so many different toys out there. Again, I'm not the best at selling them. I typically just like to sell them live to someone who knows more about them. But like this Spider-Man, for example, it's kind of a harder one to get for some reason. I think it's from like 2004, and it sells for 30 bucks plus shipping. I was able to pick it up for less than 10 cents in a bulk buy from a yard sale. You can make so much money in toys, but again, much like CDs, this is a category that a lot of resellers focus on just because of the nostalgia and because there are so many toys out there that they end up listing a ton of very cheap items that don't have a ton of demand, and it ends up slowing down their reselling business. So you got to make sure that you are picking up the correct toys that have a fast sell through, that you can make your money back quickly, and you can be a very profitable business. Another category that I do really well with, especially on eBay, are iPad. Wow, if I can speak English here today. AirPods and their cases. Also other brands like JBL and Beats and all of that, they all sell extremely well. I just sell them individually, piece by piece, the left side by itself, the right side by itself, and then the case by itself. I'm able to get these. Typically, I have to get these from e-waste recyclers or from hotel and casino lost and found buyouts, but I'm able to get them for super cheap and they sell extremely fast. These items are a bit bigger, but they still kind of fit in your hand. We have gaming controllers. You definitely want to look for OEM controllers, so they've got to actually say Sony if they are PlayStation. They've actually got to say Nintendo if it's a Wii or a Nintendo 64. They actually need to say Xbox. The third party, they're not even knockoff controllers, but like Power A, things like that, they just don't sell nearly as well. You want to make sure that they are genuine OEM, which means original manufacturing company. Make sure that they're actually Xbox, Sony, GameCube, etc. They're going to sell much better if they are first party actual company controllers. Another really awesome category that typically has a lot of small items is car parts. These are some spark plugs. Of course, there are huge receivers and stereos and even headlights and things like that. But you can focus on small parts like spark plugs, air filters, a ton of different items that sell extremely well. A lot of times you're able to get these at yard sales or even searching Facebook Marketplace. A lot of businesses will go out and just sell thousands of units at a time for a great price. I actually really like selling car parts. I got these plus 10 or 8 more of them off of a First Class Treasures live show. I was able to pick these up. I think I got 12 of them for $9. So I was able to get them for under $1 a piece. I have already sold 6 or 8 of them between $15 and $25 each. Awesome profit. Another really great category that I like to sell is makeup and cosmetics, different hand lotions, all of that stuff. You definitely want to look for MAC if you can find it. Clinique is really good. Estee Lauder, all of that stuff. It sells really well. You're able to get these more often than you would think at yard sales. Thrift stores, I never really find them. And then I also find them a lot at TJ Maxx and Ross. Awesome place to pick these up. If you can find MAC, I got these, a ton of these for only $3 a piece, and they've been selling on average for $28 plus shipping. Another really cool item that I like to sell are Disney pins. They're super cheap to get. You can even get them from yard sales, especially if you live in California or Florida. You're gonna see them a lot more often. They sell really well live, and you can even lot them up between 5 and 20 pins and sell them on eBay. And every once in a while, you'll come across limited edition ones that sell well on their own for 15 bucks, 25 bucks individually. I have been doing this for a long time, over 4 years, so I have set up relationships with different suppliers, and I have many ways of getting a ton of these items. So one of the best places to get all of the items that I discussed in this video is on firstclasstreasures.com. It's the first link in the description. It is my own website. It's very similar to Whatnot. I go live and I sell all of these items to you guys at really great prices. This is my live show rack. I do shows where I lot up 20 eyeglasses at a time and I sell them in lots. Same with remote controls, Disney pins, watches, makeup, cameras. I sell all of these items, and they're not just the throwaways. Like, as you can see in here, we got some Costa Del Mars in there. These are some Serengeti eyeglasses, Prada, Coach. All of these are going live in lots of 20, and sometimes you're able to get them for as low as $3 per pair. I mean, these Serengetis by themselves in these conditions sell for $100 plus shipping. So definitely don't want to miss out on those. Make sure you click the link in the description. It's the first link, firstclasstreasures.com, and then download the District app so you get notifications when myself and other sellers go live, because we are constantly selling these smaller items that have huge margins that you can sell individually on eBay.